I Hello everybody. Very good evening or good afternoon, whatever is the right thing to tell. So I am Somnath. I am from 1988 pass out batch, class 10. We used to call CANS without a Z. At that time, it used to be S. So from CANS 88, and it's my pleasure to introduce one of my closest friend, Priyaranjan, who also spent quite a few years together in Vidyapit, and we still remain connected almost every day. Uh, I will not take much time, just a quick one. Is that our batch was one in which there were people who are academically brilliant, but have major amount of extracurricular interests, but at the same time quite interested in things like sports and other things. Priyanjan is one of a kind who was, of course, academically brilliant. God was very kind on him, has given him a gift of gab. He was an excellent debater. He was very good in quizzing. At that time, GK used to be the in thing. Uh, and what else? Okay. One important thing about him was he was probably one guy who probably knew the rules of cricket very well. So he was the umpire of choice for matches. So he was, of course, very, very interested in sports. And by now, most of you may have seen his LinkedIn post, which probably reached 1 million people about a letter he had written to Kapil Dev and Kapil Dev's response to him, uh, which touched people's heart, and he started running around globe like mad. I mean, probably what 10 million people had seen it, if I'm not mistaken, the last count. So it was, and it was also covered in news media. So Priyanjan is a dear friend. The fact is that he has. It was always known that he will do very well in his life, and which he has done, both in life as we know, as well as the work life, the corporate life, and he has gone to kind of pinnacle, and there are quite a few years left now. I'm sure he will go even higher. He has done very well in bringing up his kids and family and other things. But for our perspective, as friends, we know he is a guy whom I can call up anytime, any day, and have a bit of undercoat the word Bakchodi, not a very parliamentary word, but anytime, any day, I can do a little Bakchodi with him. So that's why he's very close to our heart. He has maintained his humility. Uh, you can see the value system which his parents and obviously later on Vidya PT picked up. And we are really, really proud of his achievement, and we would like to see him go higher and higher and still be the friend that we know. I mean, for us, he is not Priyanjan Jha, MD of PepsiCo. He is Priyanjan Jha, my closest friend. So I introduce Priyanjan to all of you. He is an excellent speaker. Many of you know him. So I'm looking forward to whatever 20 points he is going to tell me after now 40 years. Oh, no, sorry. He is led by a 30 years. It's okay. No problem. Better late than never. So, Priyanjan, it's now up to you.
Somnath, thank you so much. So I know that I don't deserve half of what you said, but thanks for your friendship. So let me just start by giving you the background of this topic. And so in August last year, Ritesh reached out to me, and I was just checking that message right now about this session. And I have been following Adda quite regularly, and great doctors, startup founders, Devdipta who went to Antarctica. Amazing stories are there. I have not done anything worth telling a big story on. So this is what I told Ritesh in August last year. But he said, "Kuch to aap soch ke kariye." So then over a phone call, I said, "Yeah, life mein aise idhar se udhar se jate rahe and made so many mistakes. Is that okay if I talk about my mistakes in life?" So this is what we initially agreed, that I will talk about the 20 mistakes that I have made in my life. लेकिन बाद में याद आया कि चेतन भगत का एक बुक भी ऐसा है, The Mistakes of My Life or something, and I don't want to associate with that on this forum. So I thought, let me just talk about some lessons that I have learned at my own personal cost. So you will not hear anything today which you don't know already. This was meant for early career brothers, and so many of my really respected seniors are there. I feel very embarrassed today So please pardon me if I, you know, feel nervous or immodest or pompous today. I just wanted to start with my one dada was asking me mera school ka picture. So this is top left is my school ka picture with one of the dearest friends we had. We lost him. His name was Neeraj Pankaj. He was the kind of guy who really lived life the way it should be lived. Whenever he came into a room, the room would spark with brightness. He would always make everyone happy. He was not great in studies. He was just scraping by. Like, he was somebody that everyone looked forward to hanging out together. He lived his life really king size. So I thought I'll just put Neeraj's picture. And also this was the only picture which I had where, you know, जो बचपन वाला फेस था वो है. बीच में हमारा स्कूल का पासिंग आउट पिक्चर है और राइट में जिस लड़के के कंधे पे मैंने हाथ रखा हुआ, he is also there. His name is Manoj Jha. He is on the call today. And these are people that have truly inspired me in life. And I still believe that the 54 of us who graduated together or passed out together as clients in 88 are like my brothers from other mothers. Even after so many years, we are already always there for each other, and also for seniors and juniors. And this has made a huge impact on my life. Vidyapit taught us, probably all of us, but I just want to speak for myself, many, many things, right? One is surviving and thriving in adversity. Fan nahi hai, garmi Santal Paragna ka, you know, probably 50 degrees or not, and chappal jo ghise hue hai, and those conquered paved rastas, you know, this was as challenging as it could get. Even in peak summer, the tap used to give absolutely boiling water, और वो पी के भी हम लोग पसीना और वो प्यास मिटाते थे. Second was surrounded by so much talent. Vidyapit did one thing really, really well, was attract great people from great family backgrounds and put them all in, you know, the same shirts and trousers, and the trousers तो बहुत बाद में आया, shirts and half pants and Hawaii chappals, and gave them this ground to learn from each other. And उसमें हमेशा हर दिन पता चलता था कि आपकी औकात क्या है, कुछ भी नहीं है, because there is somebody who's better in something, and there is someone who can you know, shine in any activity. And the third one is really teamwork. You know, हर कुछ हम लोग साथ करते थे, and Vidyapit did not really encourage bright individual performers. You know, Vidyapit always encouraged teamwork. पढ़ाई करना है साथ करना है, खेलना है तो साथ खेलना है, वॉल मैगजीन करना है तो साथ करना है, म्यूजिक करना है तो साथ करना है. And that's the next point, which is, you know, we don't realize it then, but Vidyapit does not only tolerate or encourage academics. आजकल पता नहीं क्या है, but हमारे time में a beautiful smash in volleyball was getting the same acknowledgement as a goal against Shanti Niketan, as a great painting on Wall magazine, as somebody who was great in gardening. You know, anything that you did, if you did that with excellence, Vidyapit encouraged that. ये हम लोगों को पता नहीं था उस time, लेकिन this has really helped us a lot in our career. Enjoying the little things in life. You know, मुझे याद है अमित साहा का बर्थडे में हर साल एक रसगुल्ला मिलता था हम लोगों को, and कभी-कभी गौशाला से, when they could not sell all the extra milk to Avantika, they would give us some extra sweets. You know, that sweet, I still remember the taste of it after 40 years. And the point is, you know, छोटी सी छोटी चीजों में enjoy करना. You know, train में हम लोगों को वो जब पटना मैच में जाते थे तो एक छोटा छोटा कुछ snack box देते थे उस time, और उससे लगता था कि you have got everything. And now, you know, 40 years later, you have so much, and you don't know how to spend, and you don't know how to, you know, enjoy. वो खत्म हो गया है. And that's something that we taught us a lot. Obviously, you know, education is the manifestation of the perfection already within. समझ में नहीं, already in man. वो समझ नहीं आता था उस time कि thought of the day क्या है. But ultimately, you know, this is not about developing something new. This is about just bringing out what we do. और थोड़ा सा spirituality, जो उस समय समझ में नहीं आता था. You know, prayer hall में सोना, meditation नहीं करना. But this has stayed with us a little bit. So lot of things that we learned from Vidyapit. But Vidyapit left me unprepared on a few things, which I realized later. One was making a successful career. No one in our time talked about what should you do to build a good career, or managing the family life. You know, I later realized that most of us struggle, not just in our immediate family life, because हम लोग सब दूर रहते हैं, you know, त्योहार नहीं मनाते हैं when we are there with the family, or the family's hardships we don't see firsthand. Even after getting married, you know, I personally struggled in the first several years of my life because I did not know how to manage that relationship. That school did not teach us. And it's all right, but this is something that's to be acknowledged. And the value of money. You know, कभी भी हम लोगों को appreciation नहीं हुआ स्कूल के टाइम में कि पैसा क्यों important है, कितना important है, how should we prioritize. So these are three things that I have learned a little bit on these three topics with a lot of sacrifice and getting thuppads on my face through my career. So today I will really talk about you know, the lessons that I have learned around career, about life, and about money. So please again forgive me if I come across as a little bit arrogant. I'm still nervous with this audience group. Some of this you will relate to, some of this you may not relate to. So I apologize in advance for my immodesty or lack of humility. But before that, you know, just wanted to give you a quick background about my life after Vidyapit. तो हमारे बच्चे एक सीरीज देखते हैं नेटफ्लिक्स पे, सीरीज ऑफ अनफॉर्चुनेट इवेंट्स. सो आई थॉट, यू नो, मेरी भी लाइफ में बहुत सारा ऐसा टर्न्स था जहाँ पे दिस कुड हैव गॉन ईदर वे and life could have been totally in a different direction. But you know, this is providence, destiny, nothing to do with me. This is pure you know, fortune that you know, life has turned out all right. So I came out in 88. उस समय में मेरे father काम करते थे आर्यावर्त में, एक newspaper होता था, and that newspaper was shut, so he didn't have any money to send me to DPS where I really wanted to go. मेरे सारे अच्छे दोस्त चले गए थे दिल्ली, DPS, RK पुरम, मथुरा रोड, रामजस और एक आध ऐसे कॉलेज थे. So he couldn't afford it, so we said, you know, हम पटना साइंस कॉलेज में रहेंगे. And उस समय में विद्यापीठ में रहते सभी को you know, लगता था हमको जैसे कि IAS बन जाएंगे. And I was, you know, mentally I was thinking, अच्छा IAS की तैयारी is after graduation, so this is my time to enjoy. So I was pretty much aimless and listless in life in Patna those 2 years. And this was also the peak of a certain regime you will remember, जहाँ पे exam में, you know, cheating and question out and crime, and this was the probably the worst period you know, in Bihar. That was the time when I was in Patna. तो पढ़ाई में बिल्कुल ही focus नहीं था. I just appeared for 2 exams, IIT and Bihar Combined Engineering. IIT का हमारा सेंटर कैंसिल हो गया. ऐसा नहीं कि मुझे मेरा हो जाता, but वो that's one excuse I always have even now. सेंटर कैंसिल हो गया और बिहार इंजीनियरिंग में हुआ नहीं. And I had not applied for any graduation courses those days. Completely shaken, 17, 18 years old, father's big ambition, all of that, you know, getting into sand. Patna College में, BN College में कहीं admission लेंगे, ऐसा दिमाग में उसमें चल रहा था. Because I didn't even do very good in ISC, 78% था, तो ठीक ठाक था, but it wasn't among the top. And then, you know, the first fortunate event in my life happened. Waiting list came, and my number was waiting list 1. It's incredible, you know, in hindsight, ये luck कैसे काम करता है. तो मुझे mechanical engineering मिल गया. The only college I could get mechanical engineering was REC Silchar. Assam agitation, peak, no one wanted to go there. That's why I got there. Otherwise नहीं मिलता कहीं पे. 4 साल वहाँ पे लगाए. You know, that was one slap on the face. So I studied a little bit more, but not enough. And then got into Tata Motors as a graduate trainee. दो लोगों का हुआ mechanical में, and I was one of them. Again, I think my debate and quiz worked better than my academics. But if I did not do it, get it then, उस साल तक, उस समय में India just economy open up हुआ था. There weren't too many campus jobs those days. So again, another you know, lucky event. Got into Tata Motors, went to Jamshedpur, Patna, Muzaffarpur कर रहे थे. अब IAS का तैयारी करेंगे. So wrote the PT once, got, you know, failed, did not make it. So I had a classmate who was writing CAT. तो वो मुझे बोला कि चलो हम CAT तैयारी साथ करेंगे, एटलीस्ट तुम रहोगे तो. And I had no idea of MBA then. हम लोग साथ गए वो SBI Gandhi Maidan. We picked up 2 forms, filled up the forms. And we just started, right, you know, preparing something every Sunday. With, you know, Monday to Saturday हमारा काम होता था टेलको में, और Sunday को हम 2-3 घंटे तैयारी करते थे. he couldn't make it, I made it. This wasn't brightness. This was again coincidence. If Arunesh wasn't there, I would never have written CAT. If I had never written CAT, I would have never made into UPSC. Utna talent mere paas nahi tha. And so life would have been in a totally different direction. But again, providence, luck. Got into Lucknow, went there. वहां से हम पास करके बहुत हीरो की तरह से कैंपस में IBM ज्वाइन किए. पहले साल joined, I was part of the high performance cycle. Went to Australia on my first foreign trip ever recognition. और अगले साल I was laid off. And laid off because IBM was selling its PC division to a company called Lenovo. और हम उस समय में PC division में just 3 महीना पुराने थे. First year I spent in the enterprise division, went into PC and got laid off. Nothing, no year after being high performer, without a job. I couldn't even tell my father that I don't have a job. So 3 महीना हम without उनको बता के निकाल दिए. A lot of my friends don't know that I was laid off because that was so embarrassing. It was almost like the end of life. But Kismet उस समय में Reliance was starting. Somebody had told Mukesh Ambani कि young leaders program शुरू करो on the line of TAS. And they just wanted some people, 14 people they hired, and I was one of them. This got me into telecom, this got me into sales, जो मेरा पहले कोई भी background नहीं था. 3 साल वो सब किया, वो 501 रुपए में monsoon hangama, I was an important part of that, and all of that happened. And then suddenly I get a call from GE saying, we want to set up a recruitment channel because the company is going to get sold. Can you help set up the hiring channel? Zindagi mein kabhi hiring nahi kiya. I had never done recruitment. I said, हाँ करते हैं. So I took that. That was a transformational part of my life. 2 years I did recruitment. Then I got into analytics. Then I went to the US to sell. Came back to do finance. Got into automation. तो आपको अगर मेरा करियर देखेंगे, मेरा कोई एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है, मेरा कोई डेप्थ नहीं है, बट मेरे में भगवान ने मौका दिया कि नया नया ट्राई करते रहे और करते रहे. So whenever our children ask, where should I make my career? I am that example where it's all right to be different. It's all right to experiment. It's all right to not have deep expertise in anything. I am seeing lots of very senior doctors here. I have a lot of respect for you. आपके पास expertise नहीं होगा तो हम लोग कहाँ जाएंगे? लेकिन बिना expertise के भी एक average लड़का ठीक ठाक निकल जाता है. That's a good example. Then when I came back, that was the first time 2011 mein, when I started handling large teams. And large matlab thousands of people. And I was not prepared for it. And I will talk about some lessons that I have learned from there. And it was a complete failure. I was almost at the verge of being told कि अब ठीक से वापस तुम individual contributor में आ जाओ. But again, the resilience of Vidyapeeth, the hardship, teamwork, all of that we talk about, I think that really helped me. And I was reasonably successful. 19 May, PepsiCo was setting up. And again, 19 May, I was at a stage where all senior people in Jetpack were, in the US, etc. And my father had passed away. My mother was alone. I could not move to a foreign country. And मुझे India में job चाहिए था, or senior job चाहिए था. Again, a good fortune that PepsiCo was setting up a technology and business service center in India. They were looking for somebody to head it. I took that role, based out of Hyderabad. Same घर रहा, same school रहा, सब कुछ ठीक रहा. Again, Providence. 2 साल के बाद, they wanted a chief operating officer global who would run all the centers. And usually this kind of role, आप लोग में से लोगों को पता है, technology and business services, these roles are usually based close to the market, in the US primarily. But without any trying, I just got that role. So again, that opens me up for big opportunities. So this is what I have done. Lot of failures. एक रास्ता अगर उधर होता तो कहीं से कहीं होते. And a lot of very lucky fortunes. So I very lucky opportunities. So I really want to say that talent 10%, 30% luck, लेकिन 60% है always showing up, always taking a chance. So this is my background. And Ritesh, I don't know how to do it, but अगर question होगा तो बीच में भी दे सकते हैं. Otherwise, I will maybe talk for 15 more minutes, and then we can take any questions. So this is what sorry.
No, sorry, Dada. I just said it's on you.
Yeah.
If it's flowing, let it flow, and people can ask questions later on. Thank you.
ठीक है. So, so what do I wish I had learned before 25? And this is relevant to probably the younger generation, and also for our children. So career में 3 lesson. Stay humble, stay hungry, stay open. I will talk a little bit about these 3 in a minute. Second is build your reputation. And third is building and leading large teams is an art. So हम लोग क्या करते हैं career में? Usually what we start with is try to focus on ourselves and do better and better, or trying to find our own opportunities. So the first lesson I have learned at a very high cost is don't try to always be the smartest person in the room. हम लोग शुरू में अपने आप पे इतना फोकस करते हैं that I have to ask the best question, I have to have the best point of view. और मेरे में ये बहुत ज्यादा था शुरू में, and that worked for the first few years. But later I realized कि मेरा result अच्छा हो रहा था, but still not many people wanted to work with me, and that started impacting. So एक दिन मेरा एक IBM में I had a manager. He just called me into my room, into his room. And he said, do you want to screw up your career or do you want to grow in your career? I said, of course I want to grow in my career. So he said, then you have to stop being the smartest person in the room in every room. और ये मुझे समझ नहीं आया तुरंत. But he took the time to explain. इसमें 2-3 चीजें. एक तो क्या होता है कि जब आप, when you are trying to be the smartest person in the room, then you are pissing off, disappointing, and making other people feel bad. And as a result, no one wants to work with you. But the other thing that happens is, in your pursuit for smartness, self-smartness, you are not getting into the rooms where there are people who are better than you. So आपका learning stop हो जाता है. So the first lesson that's very important is don't try to be the smartest person in the room. इसका converse ये नहीं है कि don't try to be the dumbest person in the room. वो नहीं है, because that will not take you anywhere. But try to be real, try to be normal, try to help other people. Second is don't plan too much on your career. करियर में अपॉर्चुनिटीज आते रहेंगे, लेकिन उस टाइम आप अगर तैयार हैं, then you will get that opportunity. So bet on yourself, prepare yourself. That's more important. मैंने बहुत लोगों को देखा है जो नेविगेट करते रहते हैं अपना करियर, ये रोल में अगला वाला ये करूंगा, और वो कभी नहीं आता है. Because other people have control over your opportunities, you don't. What you have control over is the preparation. The first part of my career, I think, I was trying to navigate. But later, I have just given in, and that really helps me a lot. Third one is okay to fail, but fail fast. कई बार क्या होता है, हम लोग अपने गलत डिसीजन के साथ लिंगर करते रहते हैं. हम जब ज्वाइन करते हैं नई कंपनी, हमको पता होता है कि this manager is not going to take me anywhere, or this job is not what I really want to do. But we just want to linger कि ठीक है, हो गया तो let's try to make it better. Bad decision very rarely becomes good decision. Very, very, very rarely. So once you have figured out that you're in the wrong place, once you have figured out you're in the wrong team, once you have figured out you're the wrong person, just move on, get out, even if you don't have anything else. That's the third lesson I have. And the last lesson that's very important, हम लोग बचपन में कहानी सुनते थे वो hare and tortoise का. The hare rarely wins, at least in the corporate world. Very rarely will you see people who are self-obsessed, people who are not disciplined, people who are not showing up properly every day, and people who are trying to take advantage of others. You will rarely see them becoming CEOs. Take any example, the Indian CEOs, the Indian origin CEOs, the non-Indian CEOs. The CEOs are mostly people who are tortoises, who come in every day, who show up every day, who give their best every day, who collaborate, and who don't see कि बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. They are focused on themselves and their contribution. So these are my 4 lessons on stay humble, stay hungry, stay open. Second one, and very important, probably the most important, is build your reputation. हमको पता नहीं चलता है, लेकिन what reputation you carry will open doors that you don't even know existed. और अगर आपका reputation अच्छा नहीं है, then the doors which you were suitable for, they will also not open for you. And how do you build reputation? Be great at your work. Deliver the promise. Under promise, over deliver. और ये smartness वाले point के साथ है. We have seen so many people, हर meeting में हाँ ये कर देंगे, वो कर देंगे, and then होता नहीं है. And that kills their reputation. And they don't know what's happening. They don't know what's wrong. And these are great people. But because of this collaboration between the smartness agenda and the reputation, or the lack of delivering the promise, the reputation goes up. And the last point is, really important for me personally, is reputations get built when you help others. अपने लिए तो हर कोई करता है. So this is not about giving money. This is about giving time, giving ideas, giving empathy. And network वैसे बनता है. कई बार हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं network बनते हैं. How do I know? Who do I know? And just getting connected. getting connected से network नहीं बनता है. Network बनता है when you give. And when you give time, when you give ideas, when you are a shoulder to cry, then you will build network. So this is, building reputation is really important. And the last one, which I learned at a great cost again, is building and leading large teams is an art. When you building a large team is not about getting work done as per your expectation. वो हमें भूल जाना पड़ेगा. जब हम बड़ा टीम लीड करते हैं, then हमें organizational के objective पे let the teams grow, let the teams flourish. And so focus only on culture. Focus on a culture which is positive, forward-looking, collaborative, non-toxic. ये हमारा काम होता है leaders के तरह. बाकी सब कुछ दूसरे लोग कर सकते हैं. तो हमारा technical expertise, हमारा functional expertise, that's irrelevant when you lead large teams. But if you build a culture which is positive, that is what your contribution is. And teams love and respect vulnerable people, humble people, authentic people. They don't like aggressive alpha males. तो हम जो traditional mindset होता है कि you have to be aggressive, you have to get it done, you have to be forceful. वैसे लोग succeed नहीं करते हैं large team manage करने में. There may be one or two exceptions. And I always think about Virat Kohli versus Dhoni. My son is a cricket fan. और वो कहता है विराट कोहली क्यों why did he not last? And I think Virat kind of aggressiveness is great as an individual contributor, but it's not great as a team player. Whereas Dhoni's vulnerability, humility, and authenticity, that's a good example of our role as senior leaders. And you don't always have to be right. So this, I think you get it. So I can pause here on the career question before we move into money, or we can just run through 5-7 minutes mein aur, and then we can get some questions. Okay, so let's do money. Money mein 3 lessons hai. Start investing early, be disciplined, and prepare for the worst case. I have done reasonably well with money, and I've been fortunate. But initial mein itna setback hua tha. So just start investing early. Let me just quickly start with that. If you are 25 and if you start putting in 10,000 rupees every month, at 60, you will have 3.8 crores. If you are 25, if you start putting in only 10,000 rupees every month, and I'm assuming rate of interest to be 10%, at 60 years of age, you will have 3.8 crores. If you start at 35 doing the same thing, 10 years later, at 60, you will only have 1.32 crores. And if you start doing the same thing at 45, you will only have 41 lakhs at 60. That's the power of compounding. हम लोग शुरू में सोचते हैं, हम तो बिल्कुल ही सोचते थे कि life's job is to enjoy, और सारा पैसा पहले 10 साल spent more than I did earn. But in hindsight, that's one big mistake. And for the young brothers, if you are already working, start putting away money from the first paycheck. If you have children who are young, this is something we need to teach them, to start saving from the first paycheck. It's all right. Kahin pe bhi dalo. Doesn't matter. You can't time the market. You can't time the investment, but put in somewhere, invest something. This will create a corpus for you early. Second is get a term life insurance early. Baki sub life insurance, and again, I don't know if professionally I should say this, but Baki sub life insurance you should avoid. Just get pure risk life insurance. At 25, 30, if you take a 2 crore, 3 crore life insurance, term life insurance, it will cost you maybe 5,000-7,000 a year. Do that. If Baki sub kuch nahi kar, ye bahut zaruri hai apni families ke liye. And buy a good health insurance early on. Or, companies give us some money, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, whatever is our coverage. Please buy a good top up. I have seen so many people, their financials are destroyed because of one illness, and which you cannot control. So these are 3 start investing early tips. Invest early on, get a term insurance early on, and get a good health insurance early on. The second financial tip is be disciplined. Never ever take any loan for anything which is not related to an asset which is appreciating. Nothing. Never take personal loan. मुझे याद है MBA करके just निकले थे, and somebody, HSBC at bank camp, somebody just sold a 2 lakh का personal loan at a 7% rate of interest, और ले लिया हमने. और वो मेरा इतना महंगा पड़ा वो पर्सनल लोन which did
मुश्किल
not
है
add
यार।
any. Okay. Second is don't invest in anything that you don't understand. Whatever it is. आजकल अभी चल रहा है NFT and if you don't understand it, don't do it. Forward futures, don't understand it, don't do it. Third one is never ever go for hot tips. I can't tell you how much money I have lost because somebody told me इसमें डाल दे 1 महीने में डबल हो जाएगा. वो कभी कभी हो जाता है but 9 times out of 10 नहीं होता है. और there is a very organized group that works on this. They give you the tip only when the tail is starting to come in. And people like us are always left holding the baby. You know, I was looking at my portfolio. There are at least 12 companies which got delisted after I put in good money on them. So one way to think about it is कि Priyaranjan जिसमें डाले उसमें नहीं डालना चाहिए. But the other one to think about it is never ever go for hot tips. Never go for short term. ये किसमें कुछ होने वाला है. और तीसरा है last है spread your portfolio. हर एक asset class का एक life cycle होता है. Stock market पिछले 2-3 साल से has been a good run. The next few years are not going to be so good. So real estate, gold, mutual funds, stock, crypto, if you understand it, and if you believe in it, please diversify your assets. That's very important. This has been really working for me in the last 10-12 years. And the last one on money is prepare for the worst case. A lot of people lose their jobs. And this is going to be even more frequent in the future because of the talent mismatch that we are seeing, particularly in India. Please put away at least 1 year of your expenses for crisis. A lot of people don't do it, and then they get into the trap of loans, then depression, families get broken down. So one is 1 year, whatever is your spend, put it in some safe instrument, which is for the inevitable emergency. And the second one is very important for all the senior dadas and my friends on the call. But it's important for everyone, but it's more important for us. Please, if you haven't done it already, do it today. Please keep record of your all financials at one place and tell your loved ones. I have seen at least 3 cases in the last 3 years, particularly during COVID, when 45, 50-year-old people just passed away suddenly. Their families know कि कहीं तो कहीं डालता था, but they can't find papers, and they are running around trying to figure out those investments. And what's the point of making all the money? What's the point of investing all the money if tomorrow, if I'm gone, my wife and children can't even find what I have done? So this is something that I started doing 4-5 years back. I have a folder. ये hard copy में करते हैं, कोई soft copy is a backup, but I take printouts of every insurance policy I have, every investment I have, and every other thing, real estate, whatever little bit we have, everything is there in that folder. And not just my wife knows it, my children know it. And there is one close person in the family who's aware of where it is, and it's kept in a certain place. Please do that if you haven't done it. It's very important. A lot of us just forget about our investments, and then your money is just wasted. Thanks, Avijit. So now let me just come to the lessons for life that again, I feel very immodest with this group, but a few things that I have learned. No one important is watching you. पहले लाइफ के 25 साल लगा दिए यही सोचते कि बाकी लोग क्या कहेंगे, and कोई नहीं देख रहा, और जो देख रहे हैं वो important नहीं है. There are always people who are trying to see you fail. It's all right. Do what makes you happy. If doing something not so great makes you happy, please do it. Because if you are happier, you'll be more successful. If you are unhappy, you will be less successful. So दूसरों को खुश करना is not our job. This is one big lesson I learned very late in life. I wish I had learned it earlier and did things that I really wanted to do early on. Second is very important, sleep at least 7 hours a day. Early part of my career, I used to think कि 4 घंटा सो के हीरो बनते हैं, रात को 2 बजे तक 3 बजे तक, trying to hang out with friends and next morning presentation हो जाएगा. And I have made such stupid mistakes with that. Now that I've started sleeping 7-8 hours every day regularly, I can see the increase in my energy levels and my productivity and in my overall health. And coincidentally, abhi kal raat ko at the airport, I picked up this book called Why We Sleep. And you will not believe this is what this book is about. And Bill Gates has listed that book as one of his big reads for last year. So if you are not sleeping 7 hours, please start doing it. This is important for your heart health. This helps with, and again, there are doctors, please correct me if I'm wrong, but if you sleep properly, your life, your body is balanced better, you will be more happy and you will be more successful. Money is not equal to success. A lot of time, lag raha tha ki paisa kama lenge to successful ho gaya, success ho gaya to paisa bhi aa jayega. But I don't think that's it. I remember one story of one of our classmates, I won't name him, who may not be financially so well off. But one thing he told me, हम लोग का 25 years reunion हुआ था 2013 में, and this friend of ours, he said, জানো প্রতিদিন আমি মেয়েকে স্কুলে ছাড়তে যাই, and প্রতিদিন সে বলে, বাবা, you are the best. And when I heard that, I realized कि हम तो कर ही नहीं रहे. So it's not as if my daughter doesn't say I'm the best, but the point is, are we creating those memories for our people, for our family members? कि जब हम नहीं रहेंगे तो लोग ये याद करेंगे कि मेरा पिताजी बाबा আমাকে প্রতিদিন হাত ধরে স্কুলে ছাড়তে যেত. That is success. Money gives you freedom. Money is very important. Money gives you freedom. ताकि आपको किसी और के सामने हाथ नहीं फैलाना पड़े. लेकिन money से success नहीं है. Success is how do you use that freedom? How do you spend your time? That's one learning I had late in the career, but now I have that learning and I try to do what's important. Point number 10 is meditate. Again, ये हमको पता नहीं चला और विद्यापीठ में हमको सिखाते थे हम लोगों को, but हम लोग कभी करते नहीं थे. And I can say this confidently for many of my classmates. हम लोग कभी seriously नहीं लेते थे. लेकिन meditation का जो amazing power है, ये हमको मुझे बहुत लेट पता चला. And I kick myself कि अगर पहले पता होता तो my life would have been much more powerful early on. So again, I'm not extremely regular and successful in it, but this is one area that I'm going to spend my next 10 years of life doing much more of. Love yourself. Do take time out for yourself. रत्नाकर की कहानी भी, so ये जो बेटी वाली story पहले वाली थी, but आपको रत्नाकर की कहानी याद होगी. रत्नाकर was a dacoit, डाकात छिलो. And so one day Narad was going in the forest and रत्नाकर ने पकड़ लिया उसको और उसको लूटना शुरू कर दिया. तो नारद ने बोला, किसके लिए लूट रहे हो तुम? तो बोला, मेरे फैमिली के लिए, उनको खाना देने के लिए. तो बोला, अगर तुम्हारे जो पाप इकट्ठा हो रहे हैं वो क्या तुम्हारे फैमिली और तुम्हारे बच्चे तुम्हारे साथ रहेंगे? तो उसने कहा, हाँ बिल्कुल रहेंगे. तो नारद ने कहा, चलो चलते हैं. So then he went, and you know that story. But basically, his family said, "This is your job to feed us, but तुम्हारा पाप तो तुम्हारा ही है." तो ये हमारे साथ लाइफ में ऐसा हमेशा होता है. हमारी फैमिली, हमारे फ्रेंड्स, हमारे रिलेटिव्स, हमारा करियर, हमारे कॉलीग्स, हमारा एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है उनके तरफ, बट हमारा सबसे बड़ा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हमारे तरफ है. और जो भी पाप और पुण्य है वो हमको भोगने हैं, जो भी अच्छा और बुरा है हमको भोगना है. So please, let's not be Ratnakar who then turned into Valmiki after this learning, but let's try and love ourselves and do take time for yourself. जो अच्छा लगता है वो करने के लिए please time निकालें. And Somnath was telling this story. You don't know who you're inspiring. So in class 6, I wrote this letter to Kapil Dev because वो हमारा उस समय में icon होता था, and he took the time to write a letter back. And हम हर साल के end में ना अपने टीम को एक letter भेजते हैं with some personal lessons. And last year I put that and I included this because I just found that letter. My mother had carefully saved it. And then one of them said, please post it on LinkedIn. So I just posted this on LinkedIn. And there are, more than 50 lakh views. And there is so much of inspiration that one man, Kapil Dev, writing to one inconsequential child, me, 40 years back, has inspired so many people. और ये कपिल देव के साथ ही नहीं है, हम सभी के साथ है. हम लोग अपने लाइफ में, आपको पता नहीं है आप कितने लोगों को इंस्पायर कर रहे हैं. So please be proud of yourself and please take that responsibility to inspire each other. Because कई बार क्या होता है, there is someone who's at the brink of committing suicide, doing something wrong, and then he or she meets you and sees how you are living. And they think, मेरे पास ऐसा एक inspiration है. All of us have the power to inspire. All of us have a power to help people. So please don't forget that you are a role model to many people. आपको पता नहीं है. So please, every transaction, let's try to be proud of ourselves. And the last one, this is the last lesson and the last slide on my presentation, is keep in touch with childhood friends. I personally make a big effort to do this. What this does is it keeps you young, it keeps you grounded, it makes you happy, it gives you joy. And if you are happy, if you have joy, you will live better, you will live longer. And ये इतनी खुशी मिलती है दोस्तों से मिलके, आप सभी को मिलती है, बट हम लोग क्या होता है अपने पर्सनल लाइफ में भूल जाते हैं. I forgot it for the first 20 years of my career. I was not kind to my friends. I was not looking for my friends. But once I realized this, for the last 15, 20 years, I have been doing it. Let's all do it. This makes you better. So by the way, right after I'm finished with this session, I'm going to take a train and to meet two of my Vidyavit friends, Somnath Nag and Shomyo Banerjee. And Shomyo has traveled from Los Angeles to New York to be with Somnath and I today. This is something that I learned very late. So with that, just thank you, and may you all find what you're looking for. Again, I apologize for the lack of humility. Thank you, Rishi.
Amazing, Dada, amazing. And don't apologize, you have been very humble in the entire talk. All the junior brothers at least are very impressed. I don't know about the seniors.
No, everyone is impressed. Everyone. And very smooth flow. That's the best part about it.
Rishi, I don't know whether I am senior or not, but I am now even bigger fan of Priyaranjan.
I was always a fan.
Balaji da Ashutosh here. Secondly, you, I am with my son. Because these learnings are more meaningful to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice.
Priyaranjan.
Thank you.
Priyaranjan.
Thank
This is Gautam from 1969.
Gautam da.
So you were talking about seniors. Well, I suppose I am one of the senior most here. You sounded very, very, very sincere and very true. I am truly impressed. And I can tell you, your experience, it's really genuine. I went through the same stages in my life, meandered around in my career. And believe it or not, my son, who's also in management, had a similar experience. So this is very typical. And the advice you have given, but in all the spheres, including the financial advice you have given, sounds very, very true to me. They are exceptionally good. And I suggest that the brothers take note of it. I would just request you for one thing. Could you please share your slides with us?
I will, Gautam. And
the presentation slides.
I will, Gautam. Thank you so much for your feedback. You passed out 3 years before I was born. So your feedback really, really means a lot.
Thank you so much.
Priyaranjan, just an incident I would like to narrate. I went to Silchar in, I think, end of November 97. And there, incidentally, Subodha was getting married. Subodha, 1 year junior to you. So I just landed up there. I went there to meet Krishnanu, my batchmate, and incidentally, he was getting married on the same day. So I just visited and unka marriage party bhi attend kar liya. So there, and I also stayed at Krishnanu's medical college. So the talk of the town was कि इस town में 2 debaters हैं, एक शुभशेखर भट्टाचार्य जी हैं और एक प्रियरंजन झा हैं, and it's a great event. सिलचर का वो event होता था that both of you would debate there. So your reputation काफी पहले से चलता आ रहा है आपका.
Thank you, Balaji.
Can I say something, Shrikant?
मैं कुछ बोलूं बालादा?
अरे
Shrikant,
बालादा आप अच्छा sorry.
नहीं बोलो whoever speak. Yeah. Since you have started, please carry on.
नहीं आप बोलिए. हाँ, मैं ये जस्ट एक स्मॉल कमेंट था. बालादा, आप जहाँ भी जाते हो खाने का मौका छोड़ते नहीं हो क्या? आप गए किसी और काम से और शादी में घुस गए, आप खा लिए, ये क्या है?
अरे वेज खाना बड़ा मुश्किल से मिला था, एक आध वेज आइटम था, सारा नॉन वेज था।
यार बालाजी मैराथन भी तो दौड़ता है, वो तो देखो तुम, ये तो
अरे
इतना
वो
बड़ा
फर्जी
चीज, हम
है,
लोग तो
वो
खाते
फर्जी
जाते
है
हैं और पेट
बासुदा,
पे लगाते जाते हैं।
बासुदा वो फर्जी है, वो तो
अरे नहीं
मेडल
भाई,
हाँ
प्रियरंजन के बारे में बता दूं, मैं तो आई जस्ट वही दिन मेरा याद पड़ा है, व्हाइट फुल पैंट पहन के और स्काई ब्लू कलर का शर्ट पहन के तुम थे वहां पे, शायद परितोष था तुम्हारे साथ, मैं नाम बोल रहा हूँ, जो आईएएस थे उनके फादर।
हाँ परितोष।
फिर तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स से मिले, ही स्टिल वेरी ग्राउंडेड एंड आई कैन मेक आउट फ्रॉम द व्हाटएवर टॉक ही हैज गिवन, इट्स रियली इंस्पायरिंग। मैं तो अपने बेटे को, जब रितेश इसका वीडियो भेजेगा, मैं आस्क माय सन टू गो ओवर इट, he's in second year of engineering to look at all this, and बड़ा अच्छा लगा क्योंकि तुमने जो भी लाइफ के लेसन्स है सिंप्लीफाइड करके बताया। yes, there's a lot to learn, and एक चीज बड़ी अच्छी लगी जो लास्ट वाला तुमने बोला कि जिसको फ्रेंडशिप वाले, yes we should invest in relationship, ये तो मेरे को अभी लगता है, almost reaching at the age of 60 now we realize we actually have to make an effort to invest in relationship, be with friends or some near or dear one, ultimately it will pay like anything more than the other investment. चलो प्रियरंजन, फिर कभी मिलते हैं, आई लुक फॉरवर्ड टू मीटिंग ईदर इन हैदराबाद और दिल्ली और समटाइम्स some major place. It's a wonderful listening to you, really I mean really enjoyed it and lot of
I'll come and meet you. I'll come and meet you, Shrikanta. Thank you so much.
Priyaranjan, first invitation to Calcutta.
Thank you.
So, Priyaranjan da, thanks very much. I remember that we had a phone call in August, September, and we agreed to do a session. It was difficult to find it, the time. And then when we finalized, you flew to New York, but still made it to this session. So thanks for coming and inspiring us. And our thanks to the audience who have been here. And it is amazing to see Gautam Da from 1969 to youngsters from 20. I think Ankit Anurag would be the, if I'm not right, the youngest, maybe in the latest batch. So on the other note, Gautam Da said, if we can share the slides, it's for the benefit for everyone. With the consent of the speaker, we upload the video on our YouTube website so that people who had missed it or people who want to revisit it, they can access it. And other note, maybe Priyaranjan, we can have another session for the benefit of others in coming few months, and either you can take the same topic or something new. That would be very inspiring. At the end of it, just a small note about very exciting new session which is coming on 19th March. One of our juniors from 2001 called Nishant Bhaskar. He was in fact, he's a designer, he's a design engineer. 2 years back, he quit his job and he started following what Priyaranjan Da said, do what you like. He has moved to Paris and started a startup called Lomad Startup. And he's going to be our speaker. So while Priyaranjan Da was discussing, don't stick to things which don't linger to things which you don't like. And this is very coincidental. This is one of our juniors who stuck, who moved and took that decision. And the next session after that is Sanjay Mandal Da from 1990, your junior Priyaranjan Da. He's based in Kolkata. He's going to share his knowledge about, he's a gastrointestinal medicine specialist, and he will be speaking. With that note, from my side, thanks to everyone.
Ritesh, just one thing. Day before yesterday, myself and my wife had the privilege of getting hosted by Gautam Da. He is a wonderful host, wonderful speaker, and apart from all that, we can listen to his YouTube channel. He is an avid collector and organizer of Carnatic music. So very fantastic.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Thanks for
And Gautam Da is reaching your neighborhood within a couple of weeks.
Which neighborhood is this? Is Ritesh in Germany?
And he's
I'm in Luxembourg, Dada.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll be visiting Hamburg. My son and my grandchildren are there. So
See, that's the powerful, as Priyaranjan said, the networking or friends. If not for Priyaranjan Da, you wouldn't have joined this session, or maybe Abhijit Da may not have shared about you. And here we are doing the plans from 1969, which is, again, I was not born there. I was born 10 years after that. Here we are talking about our seniors. That's how it works. And that, I think, Vidyapit is one place which gives us so much inspiration, so much network. It's great.
And the camaraderie is actually unbelievable. The affection that we feel, even so many years later. So most of you I haven't even met, but it's a different connection altogether.
Of course. Priyaranjan Da, any concluding remarks from your side or from your batchmates or anyone from the audience, please?
Hi, Ritesh. Can I take over?
Please.
Yeah. Hi,
Divakar
Priyaranjan.
Singh.
How are you?
Divakar Da, how are you?
I'm good.
Where are you, man?
How are you? I was just
We
taking
could
a
see
haircut.
how is he? We could see by the games how is he?
पीछे से हटो तुम. I could see that after so many years altogether, and thanks to Priyaranjan Da, we remember our good old days in Secunderabad. We met on so many occasions, and the Divyansh has grown big. He has joined BSc Computers in spite of qualifying for NDA at a rank of 63 out of 8 lakhs boys. He couldn't make it to army. So that boy has gone to now North Campus, where I belonged or my wife belonged. And my roots and my belongingness to each one of you remains as uprooted as undead. And I miss the beautiful time spent with you in Secunderabad. Rather in Hyderabad.
Dada, you have to invite us to Jharkhand now, your kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, my kingdom is like, in the sense, you come over anytime, any day, anytime. You tell me any part of the country. My organization is one such big that is a blessing from the Sri Sri Thakur, and maybe the being an alumni of RK Mission, and thereafter from the North Campus, DU. Trust me, across my country, you go anywhere, there will be one boy from Indian Army, whether retired or not, who has served under me with my 24 years of my service to the organization. They will always be there to look after you in their capacity.
We will come to meet you, Dada.
And trust me, I must bring it out to you. This country is so beautiful. I have transferred it right from the McMahon line to the northernmost, to the easternmost, to all the NEWS boundaries of the country. I have traveled. You're most welcome. Come over. Rachi will always welcome you. If I can be of any assistance, anything, I wish to hang my uniform. I have served enough. I am really hard work. I have got my opportunity and appointments from outside. I also want to come and meet the civil world, and where I can contribute to something to my peers and to my best of my seniors. I knew when Priyaranjan Da was living as a candidate from Devghar, I cried like anything. Durgatosh Pandeda, I cried like anything. His elder brother Astos Pandeda, I cried like anything. I miss my belongings to that place. Trust me. Just 3 months back, I had paid a visit to that place, and I said, anybody, anyone, we are having a Ranchi chapter here at my own residence, at my own mess. I'm calling Sandeep Jha sir, I'm calling Vivek, I'm calling Santosh Vatsa, I'm calling DC Gumla, Kumar Sushant is pretty junior, I have never met him. I'm calling everybody here possible, and I'm sponsoring a small little dinner, come a cocktail night for each one of them with their spouses and their children as well. My wishes to each one of you, and my best regards, Priyaranjan, my best regards to you. And
Divakar, तुमको नंबर भेजते हैं अपना.
प्लीज
रितेश,
भेज दीजिए हम लोग का। उसके बाद क्या हुआ ना, we are
Gajendra,
unfortunately, you know, we
दिवाकर
have
दा
to-
सिर्फ सैटेलाइट फोन पे रीचेबल है।
नहीं बस ये बात नहीं भाई, हम लोग मजबूरी में ना, मोदी जी ने ऐसा किया है ना कि जूम में इंटर करने के लिए यू हैव टू टेक अ परमिशन।
करेक्ट दादा।
I have lot of I am with a belt and a beret. I am a soldier with an uniform, so I have to understand. Cut this.
yes.
I have to
So,
understand. You know, I don't have liberty as you people have. But whatever my organization has taught me, and whatever my school has taught me, my Vidyapit has taught me, my alma mater has taught me, it has worked out in every field can contribute to Indian Army altogether.
एकदम मजा आ गया दादा आपका सेटअप देख के, एकदम पूरा एकदम इस सेशन का परफेक्ट एंडिंग हो रहा है।
जस्ट एक चीज मैं भी एक
अगर
चीज बोलूं,
perfect ending is
जस्ट
that-
एक मिनट। हाँ हेलो,
विशाल
हाँ
दा,
हाँ, जस्ट एक गुड न्यूज शेयर करना चाह रहा हूँ मैं अपने दो मतलब एलुमनी से, कि मेरा बेटे का सिलेक्शन हुआ RKM में एंड ही विल बी जॉइनिंग सून। कल ही आया रिजल्ट रात।
वाओ दादा, दिस
Oh,
इज द
wow.
बेस्ट न्यूज़।